This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and as promised, once again, I am live from the spot, relaxing, maxing, taxing, and we have a very good subject that I want to talk about concerning one of the highest paid boxers that we have today. Skrilla 50 in the building, Anthony Joshua. And gloves are off, sweet science, nope, no heart, no confidence, and no idea what style of fighter he is. Ooh. Oh, those are the words. Okay, Richard, never did he, Richard says. Callum, Madison. Hi, Kurt. Do you know Kabayel is the new suspect front runner for Joshua? I get Kabayel. Now, that would be a first because that was like Fury's boy back in the day. You remember that, guys? You remember when Tyson Fury was actually targeting I get Kabayel back in 2000 or late 2020 when he said and they claimed up and down that the contract was expired. Yeah, that was the dude. So if he's fighting, I get Kabayel. How good does it look though? I mean, it's not great. You know what I mean? But at least it's a fresh fight. And see, the reason why I like fresh fights, people, I want you guys to understand me. Fresh fights are a potential, okay? Fresh fights are a potential of having a hungry opponent in front of you. See, that same old shit, that same fighter from wherever, and Dillian White and Andy Ruiz, and who else is that? What else is, like anybody from the old school, anybody that he's already fought. I don't want to see. I don't want to see anybody that he's fought before. I wouldn't even want to see Ruiz and Joshua because Ruiz just shows us he can get boxed. And then he gets mad and calls people runners. He was running when he can't get his way, I mean, not everybody's going to lean in and let somebody, deck you with a left hook, Bill Kivani, good evening, champ. What's up, brother? Counterpunch in the building. Member Prospect 1210, top fighter, but has lost the hunger due to overhyping and overpayment. Prosport, actually. That could be the case. He may never want to admit that, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, who really wants to admit they don't have the hunger no more? Because see, here's the thing. We've also heard Anthony Joshua state that what motivates him, what did he say? The money. So if money motivates you like that, I can see why you fought that Jermaine Franklin fight the way you fought it. Because you're not trying to get busted up. You're not trying to do anything overzealous. You're not trying to go in there to make a point. You're trying to get that check. But at the end of the day, if he's wanting money, I don't know. I don't see it, being overpaid may be the reason. But I've said this in another video. I don't know if it's out. I think I have it coming out pretty soon. But Andy Ruiz, you mark my words. This is my prediction of Andy Ruiz. Side note, side topic. Andy Ruiz, the broker he is, the more desperate he is, the worse he does in life, I think that makes the most hungriest fighter that ever lived. A lot of people like that. Hell, I'm like that. If I do 3 films back to back, you're going to see less videos. Why? Because I'm busy making money and I don't have time to occupy certain things as though that we're not working. For a fact, nobody's working right now simply because we have a writer's strike. So no actor, no stunt performer, no anybody is really fighting unless it's some type of independent film. So if you see films, they're not huge films. They're not, or huge shows. They're independent shows that don't, or non-union shows. Okay. And they don't require a writer that's on strike right now. So that's why you see more videos coming from me, because I don't have to do that. Whereas for Andy, if he had and made a lot of money before, if you think of Andy Ruiz, let's take a totally different person, right? And replace the success that Anthony had with, let's say, Andy. So if Andy had what Anthony has in his career has made, do you think Andy would really be as hungry as he was? Do you think the issue with the baby mama, do you think that would really be an issue with Andy if he made Anthony Joshua money? I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just giving you something to think about, because when you're dealing with Joshua, he doesn't have to do shit, does he? I mean, really, what does he? Do you think this is really okay? I'm just going to fight whoever the hell in the next, I don't know, couple years, make a couple $100 million more, and then sell off in the sunset. Do you think that may be the overall ambition of Joshua, since he said out of his own boca, hey, my motivation is the money? But I'm like, well, damn, how much money do you need? How much money do you desire? You know what I mean? Like, I know taxes is a mother, they're both. I mean, you guys fucking in the UK created the shit, taxes, right? So I know taxes is a mother sucker. He ain't married. Yeah, he got a child. I bet you his child's mom's living nice. I bet you that. And that kid's living nice. I bet you that. But other than that, he doesn't really have anybody else besides his family to really just suck money out of him. You know what I mean? Like a vacuum cleaner. He ain't like Teofimo Lopez right now or Andy Ruiz. So again, it goes back to what really motivates Anthony Joshua. Joshua is still willing to fight top guys, so I don't question his heart, but I question his identity as a fighter. Heart versus the ability to fight. I remember Carl Froch said this. Carl Froch did say that he never really was a developed fighter because he never was a boxer earlier in his life. He never developed certain things. He never really developed how to fight. He learned some skills, but he, and this is Carl Froch now. This is, the biggest Joshua lover there is, right? And he said that, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Joshua wasn't in the gym when he was 13. So it's a lot of things that he probably missed. Like look at Wilder. People ragged on Wilder's technique for years. They still do. You see that? Okay, look at the last published video of Wilder. Wilder still punches like he's kind of like, are you new to this shit? Even if you see me on mitts, but I've been boxing since I was maybe 8. Okay? First time I put on some gloves, I was probably 7. Okay? Martial arts, it was before that. But nonetheless, I knew how to throw, left hooks. Those type of things are like muscle memory to me. I don't like, it's not like, like Wilder goes bop, 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 bop. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell the muscle memory is not even intact. To be fair, Joshua's better. That's why, he did a lot with what he learned, with what he knew, until it all fell apart because he lost. I think he's trying to pick the pieces up, but, that's one of his things. But back to what Carl was saying, guys, okay, maybe he wasn't really a big fighter, because as soon as he got hurt, that went right out of the window. The attitude was there. Remember what he did to Ruiz? He kind of pushed him or hit him after the break, before Ruiz put him back down again. So the attitude will always be there. So you'll see those near riot like bullshits, but that may be ego with Joshua. He needs a fight, though not many willing to take a fight. Love Kurt. Hope all is good, bro. God bless. Airzism. Likewise to yourself, my brother. Counterpunch to you. Tiger Stripe. No self-belief at all. No self-belief. So a person with no self-belief, do people with no self-belief go and hire the trainers of the year to get better? See, I would be convinced that Joshua is not or does not have heart. I would be convinced of that 100% if he wasn't going out of his way over here in Texas to learn more, to study more, to train more. Like, I just don't see a man with no heart. I've seen guys, Jeff Lacey, what's the guy Lennox Lewis knocked out right now? I had his name on the tip of my tongue. Michael Grant. Those were like Michael Grant was huge. Jeff Lacey was like the current day Edgar Berlanga. He was a hard, heavy-handed fighter. But if you came in there and you actually knew how to box and you can stay away from those shots, you can take them to school. Michael Grant, pretty much the same. As soon as he started getting beat, as soon as Lennox Lewis flattened him, he was never the same dude. So, I mean, is Anthony Joshua one of those guys? Or is he trying to fight what is already is? Let's keep looking. Let me check you guys. Wilder has ran for years. Move on. Pick people who want to fight. Okay. Yes, Kurt. Heavyweight boxing is dead. Do you really believe these December fights are going to happen? I expect one of them to happen. Now, who fights? I don't know. Maybe. I think Usyk, if anybody, Usyk will fight because Usyk has already signed up for Skills Challenge. So he's going to fight someone in the Middle East. Who that will be, I don't know. But I know it's going to be Usyk. I tell you something that we haven't heard, though. I tell you, we haven't heard anything from Joshua wanting to fight Usyk again. Joshua doesn't need the money. No, he doesn't. Ruiz may bring something special as he needs serious money. Yeah, I think Ruiz, the hungrier, the more desperate Ruiz is, people, he's going to be more dangerous. But we've seen him less dangerous because we've seen Andy Ruiz not in need. True, I lend to pray only if I'm in trouble. Pro sport or pro sport. Is it pro sport? Pro sport. There you go. Pro sport. Pro sport. Absolutely. And a lot of people are that. That's why I tend to give thanks when I'm not in trouble. Flip it. Reverse it. But most people are like that. Shit, I'm in trouble. God help me. Help! Somebody, I don't know, whoever, right? The feeling of desperation is stronger than love. That's powerful, Skrilla 50. Rene Padilla, salute Kurt, the hurt, DeVille. Appreciate it. Eddie don't want Ruiz to fight Wilder because Ruiz wins, then Andy Ruiz will be screaming for Joshua 3. Well, Ruiz, that's one way to look at it. I look at it like this, though. If Wilder flattens Ruiz, it's going to make Joshua look really bad. Let me say that again. If Deontay Wilder flattens Ruiz, I mean quick, like he did Helenius, like he did Dominic Breazeale, it's going to make AJ look that much worse, and it's going to, and AJ reflects Eddie. So Eddie knows that. Like, I don't want that guy fighting Wilder, because what if Wilder catches him with one of those bionic ass right hands and knocks Andy Ruiz back to the fucking fruit picking fields? I think I need to pick fruit. Dad, I want to pick fruit again. Wilder hurt me. Question. I question Joshua's passion. I don't even know if it, like, You know what I want to know? If it's not ego, that shit that made Joshua like grab Jermaine Franklin, that unsportsmanship like stuff he pulled. I wonder what that was. Was that frustration? Was that passion? Was it like what was it really? I mean, what was we really dealing with Anthony Joshua? Like, why did he flip out like that? Was it the fact that he couldn't do what he thought that he wanted to do? You know what I mean? Was it disappointment? There you go. That's the word. AJ's days are over. He wants to spend his money. Cartman, I don't have no problem with it because AJ's gave us some good fights. I mean, he has. He's gave us some. Look, if you watch the Klitschko and Joshua fight, you have a treat. There have been people that don't watch boxing that are just MMA suckers, right? Friends of mine I know personally don't watch the shit. They don't watch boxing at all. They say boxing is boring. All they do is hug. Motherfuckers, y'all roll around on the floor. Really? You want to talk about boxing? Anyway, that's my counterpunch to that. But they saw Joshua Klitschko. And oh boy, they were like, damn, that was actually good. Look how they explained it. That was actually good. Do I still got it? I know, Wayne. Is he getting like Tio? Wilder fought Helenius, yet people keep saying he's a killer. And AJ takes heat. It's funny. Well, Bill, that's how it's going to be because, see, AJ is he's the premier guy. He's supposed to take the heat. Okay? 1 minute. No, AJ's the premium guy. He's supposed to take the heat. He doesn't supposed to sit back and get jabbed on. Unless people, he's in a situation where he's putting himself along with Wilder. So in other words, if he does Wilder's stuff, he's supposed to be criticized like Wilder. I mean, that only makes perfect sense. We got 100 people in here. How about 100 likes? I think, and this is my prediction, if the people that are in here hit the like button that haven't hit the like button, I think it'll be more people in here because YouTube will see that there's more likes, then YouTube will push up the algorithms for them to send more notifications out to people that are subscribed to the fucking channel. Because it's almost like YouTube's like, nah, that ain't gonna do nothing. Not enough likes. Whoa, wait a minute, wait. Shit, we got 50 likes in over 15 minutes. Wait a minute. I think we need to actually start sending these out. How many? Yeah. Whatever they do, I don't know what they do, right? However they do it. Click, or a mouse or something, I don't know. The AJ at the end of Usyk 2 looked more scarier than the 12-round AJ. Yeah, he looks like he was going to lose his shit, but I don't understand. Like, I didn't understand it. It was so... What's the word? It was so imbalanced. Like, I'm like, how in the fuck you get that angry after a fight? Like, do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, how do you get that angry after a fight and not share that or show that in the fight itself? It's like some kind of imbalance, like chemical imbalance type shit. Like, dude, why wouldn't you fucking Jermaine Franklin up? I mean, Joshua should have been bop, 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 ding, 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 bop, ding, 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 ding. It should have been like that. That's how you can show a person really wants to fight. I'm not convinced that it was about fighting. I was convinced that he was just angry. Now I'm like, okay, if you get angry and that anger don't fucking motivate you to fight, that's a bunch of fucking bullshit, isn't it? I mean, you think about it. Like, dude, I get angry. I want to fight. I don't want to, I got boxing gloves on. Now I want to come at you with them. That's going to motivate me. That's going to give me a push towards fighting you. You know what I mean? Now he may want to throw dirty shots, holding, hitting, ball busters, elbows, rabbit punches, kidney punches, stuff like that. But still, you're going to be doing something. I don't know, man. That just kind of, AJ is really accomplished for a guy who started boxing late. That's cool, but he's here now. But I think maybe, to be fair with Anthony Joshua, that may be the reason why he is with Derrick James. Maybe he's supposed to have been with someone like Derrick James years ago. And then he was learning all this amateur stuff where he was getting away with it and just being creative with what he knew. Well, when he got in there with a fucking beast or a desperate ass Mexican warrior, Andy Ruiz, with a good chin, that's what you got. See, both instances, he never fought Fury, he never fought Wilder, he never fought Joyce, he never fought Dubois, he never fought Hrgovic, he never fought, it's a lot of fighters he didn't fight. But then again, safe to say, there's a lot of fighters that never fought him. So, the same guys that beat him, none of those other guys have fought either. Okay, so it's a shitty situation all around with AJ, because AJ is not on an even comparable platform. Let's get those likes up. We got 39. I guess people just stopped. There's enough. Hit the like button. However, the reason I say that is because Wilder, I want to see Wilder and Ruiz. You want to see Tyson and Joshua. You want to see Tyson and Usyk. You want to see Wilder and Usyk. You want to see Wilder and Pulev. You want to see Pulev and Tyson Fury. You want to see these type of fights occur and happen, and we want to see how the results of them be. And I guarantee you, none of those fucking results will be the same, or it won't be nothing like you thought it was going to be. That's the problem. And you know how I know I'm right, people? Because it always proves us wrong. Every time you get someone different in there, you get a different outcome. Don't you guys have... Okay, Philip Hrgovic beat Zhang, right? Zhang supposed to have been destroyed by Joe Joyce, right? But he wasn't. Joyce goes in there and will probably destroy... I put money, people. I bet you any type of money. Hrgovic will be destroyed by Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce would eat Hrgovic alive. Why? Because Hrgovic, I think he's faster, and he's about the same damn height, if not taller, but I don't think he has what it takes to keep Joyce off of him. It's all about the styles. And each style versus another style creates a different result. You guys have to understand that. But that don't mean Zhang won't beat the shit out of Joe Joyce again. And that don't mean Hrgovic won't beat Zhang again. It doesn't matter. That's what people need to understand. All this triangle, I got it figured out due to this guy beats that guy, and then he fights this guy, and then he's the premier guy. There is no premier guy. I'm going to say that again for you guys to understand. There is no premier fighter in boxing. There may be what people are trying to convince you, or there may be corruption that is forcing a certain narrative or outcome. But there is no premier fighter in the sport of boxing. That's why boxing should be more famous, more important, more lucrative than any of these fucking football, basketball, MMA, football, basketball, all these things. It's a group thing. Boxing is so sporadic that you want to see each and every fight as they come with each and every fighter. All these fighters are getting judged based on who they fought, who their promoter was, where they're from nowadays. Okay, so we have a lot of shit going on in boxing that's just not fair. And instead of us promoting the sport, we're having all these rematches. You know why there's a rematch with Joe Joyce and Zhang? Because Zhang didn't supposed to win. Let's be real. Let's just strip away the politics of bullshit. Joyce supposed to beat Zhang. Joyce then supposed to fight Fury or Joshua or Wilder or Usyk. Okay, that's what's supposed to happen. Let's hit that like button. That's what's supposed to happen. Okay, but Zhang, that just got beat, is supposed to be a 40-year-old guy that's on his way out and shipped back to China or wherever the hell he's going. That's why we have a rematch right now. You guys understand that, right? That's why we have a rematch. And Joe Joyce is like, shit, this didn't supposed to happen. It did. It's supposed to happen because of the style Zhang has. Quick hands, not really fast feet. Same for Joe Joyce. He has faster hands than Joe Joyce, and he's a southpaw. Joe Joyce wasn't really used to a southpaw, and he wasn't used to someone that could hit just as hard as him, but faster. Had better timing, so if he's faster, his timing's better. So if his timing's better and he's faster, he doesn't have to have fast feet. He can just beat you to the punch. And that's what happened with Joe Joyce until his eyes swole up. Right? That's what happened. Hello, Kurt Lopez. I saw saying never to change trainers, as you will always go back to what you know. Do you think having left his original trainer, he has not been the same? Well, I mean, he just left his trainer. People have been saying that shit, Jason, since fucking 2019. So I don't believe that at all. No, that don't make sense. But I do agree there are parts where, look at, you will go back to what you know. You will go back to your old habits. You will revert back to what you know. You will revert. That's simple. Yeah, that's understandable. You will revert back to that old school. Like, give you an example. Dillian White, the last fight. Yeah, he was doing good with the crossover and he was blocking shots and shit. But as soon as he opened up, the old White came back and he was ready to fight. Bars. Right? So yes, that's what it is. Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti's a good boxer, but as soon as he gets hit and hurt or cut, he's going back to that same savage, walking and chop you down and throw these uppercuts and throw these punches with all my might, leave my guard open, get punched some more, bleed some more, cut some more, you know what I mean? Take more damage. But then again, I'm still doing what I know to do because that's what I know. So maybe Joshua will do that. The only question is, what does Joshua revert back to? See, the scariest thing I've ever seen from Joshua is when he did get hurt. When he got hurt, he crumbled. I'm going to say that again. When Joshua got hurt, he crumbled. Now, this is what I want to figure out about Joshua. Is Joshua is he that guy hurt? Because the narrative was he was hurt. He had a concussion. And like I told you guys then, if Joshua had a concussion, he should have never been anywhere near a boxing ring. They should have shut that off, shut that shit down, or prolonged it because it was a sold-out crowd. They could have pushed that fight if they wanted to. They didn't have to make that. That was a voluntary. Andy Ruiz was a voluntary opponent by way of Jarrell Miller or Luis Ortiz or Adam Kalnacki or Dillian White or any of these guys. They were that whoever fit that slot was a voluntary. He was not a mandatory. They should have taken that fight and pushed it back. Let Anthony Joshua heal, stay the hell away from sparring, and relax and rest. That's what Joshua needed. The only problem is we haven't seen Joshua in trouble like that. We've seen him hit, and we've seen how he reacted when he got hit, We've seen his reaction. It wasn't a cool one. It wasn't a confident one. But I mean, he took the shot. Pulev got him. He caught him with a couple right hands. Um, who else? Usyk made him hurt, but Usyk, I think, wore him down more than anything else. So I think what you have to realize is Usyk is a guy that wears you out by fatiguing you because he doesn't get tired. He lets the other guy get tired. That's how Usyk does. Not saying he can't thump because, you better ask Tony Bellew, but Tony Bellew is a much smaller person. Joshua's shit. 3 or 4 stones on someone like Bellew, right? I'm saying that right? 30 pounds, like we use over here in the States. 30 pounds. Let's see. We have some super chats here. Rene Padilla coming in with that $9.99 and is always fine. He says, Kurt, can't wait till you drop the video about Errol Spence and do an impression of Errol Spence persuading AJ to get on that drink. You got it, brother. Let's see. We got another one. Well, that's 2 times. So that means I have to do it double time. So here you go. This is Errol Spence convincing AJ to get on the drink. So AJ's hitting the glove. He's hitting the bag. Bah, 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 bah. Hey, AJ. Bah. Yeah, what's up? Bah, bah, bah. Hey, you need to get on this drink, man. No, hold on. I got to do better than that. Hold on a second. So AJ's working on the bag, focused. Derek, he just had a breather. So Errol Spence, he's sitting there. AJ, man, you need to come get on this drink, man. I know you drank a little bit, don't you? Yeah, this is good shit too. You ever had that? You had some of that that apple crime? So you need to get down with that apple crime, AJ. No, I'm good. Come on, man. You gonna go in there, you gonna fight Wilder. Wilder, that's my boy. I know the motherfucker can hit hard. I know he can hit hard. In order for you to stand them punches, we seen that Andy Ruiz fight. we seen that Andy Ruiz fight, man. In order for you to take them shots from Wilder, man, you're gonna have to come in there full. And you gonna come in there full, all you need to do is come in on that lane. Man, so take you about 4 shots of this, and then have Derek to give you to drop a few shots to you in between rounds. Shit, you be ready to take them shots. Because without this drink, shit, he gonna knock you out. Pterodactyl coming in with that $2 or £2 love. AJ worried about his faculties after boxing. Yeah, I mean, he should be worried about his faculties. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But then again, this is what you signed up for. Let me tell you something. Do you guys understand what risk versus reward is? You know what? Maybe that is right. If AJ's that worried about his faculties, that means he needs to definitely worry more about. He needs to definitely worry more about the quality of opponents. We know he gets a lot of money. We know he gets paid a lot of money. We know, Joshua is the type of person that's probably got 10 times more than most fighters fighting today. We know that. He's just where he's at because of where he's at and what he's done, and he's taken on some pretty hard hitters and some very interesting competition. However, if he feels he's worried about his faculties, he needs to fight the best and get the fuck on out of boxing. I mean, seriously. He needs to fight Wilder and fight Tyson Fury, maybe fight Joyce. 3-fight deal and he's done. Because, but give it your all. Don't talk about, hey, I want to stretch out this career and I'm worried about my faculties after this, where what we figured out is you trying to fight longer will cause you more damage on down the road versus a short amount of time fighting the best opponents, taking on the best challenges. See, the last thing AJ, I feel, needs is to sit back and think on what if I would have done that? What if I would have done that? What if I would have actually, fought that guy or took that challenge? Or, what if that would have been the case? And see, I don't understand how people could want to fight someone, because that someone could be your worst nightmare. It could be someone that you didn't expect to have that type of challenge or that type of punch or that type of drive or that type of skill. Chickarelli! What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. St. Don. Thing is, Kurt, Joshua earned his reward already. That's why the dog's gone. That may be the case. That may be the case. I just don't want it to be AJ trying to convince other people that he ain't out of the game, that he don't have the heart no more, and he's just bullshitting us. Nobody needs that, because at the end of the day, that's going to show. Because if you have somebody that's, I'm going to say more willed than Jermaine Franklin, but more skilled and knows how to punch and knows how to fight, and he ain't giving up for shit, and he gets an opportunity to fight AJ. That could be AJ's last fight, and it could be due to, hey, let me fight this guy because I think this guy is an easy pick'ems. See, it's not time for AJ to start easy picking anyone. Because like I told you guys earlier, it don't matter about what he has done already. It matters what he continues to do. Because if he puts himself in the situation or on the same platform or position as Deontay Wilder, he's going to get treated like Deontay Wilder. And then here's the deal. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury has fooled a lot of people. See, they were busy fighting each other like it's fucking Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez. By the way, ironically though, if they fight again, Wilder's going to win. I think Wilder will take the fourth fight with Tyson Fury. Just off my dome. Simply because Wilder's smaller, just like he was in the first fight. That's how he got a draw, because he had energy still to land those shots. Do you think that second and third Wilder, do you think that he would have had the power to land those shots like he landed in the first fight? He would have been tired as shit missing that many punches, because that's all Fury had him doing. Put his hands behind his back. That's all he was doing. Wilder would have been tired as shit missing that many shots. He would have probably been out of gas probably in the 9th round, maybe the 8th. Because he would have been too heavy. You think them fucking skinny ass legs is accustomed to holding that big ass frame, them big broad ass shoulders, muscle bound and shit? That motherfucker was my size upstairs. Downstairs was trying to take care of upstairs and throw punches upstairs while being stable downstairs with those legs. Okay? No, that wouldn't have happened. But maybe. See, maybe Malik Scott was able to get to him in that regard. I still question that hook ability, because maybe Wilder can land a good hook also, but it has to develop. If I was Malik Scott, if I was Wilder's trainer, you know what I would do with Wilder? I would tell Wilder, okay, for a week, you're not throwing a right hand in this gym. You will not throw a right hand. Matter of fact, I would tape his fucking right hand around his waist. I would tape Wilder's right hand around his waist and just let him work on the hook. And you better not fucking throw it like a retard. You better turn that shit over. Boop, boop. That's what he would work on. Boop, boop. Come on, body, bop, bop. That's what he would work on. He would want to use it. Now, he could probably feint with it. You know, left uppercut, you know, but if he starts turning it, you know what I mean? Like he's been, no. I think that's what would help him develop. They did the same thing to Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine Taylor was so accustomed to throwing the right hand, they taped his right hand. And he couldn't. He was just jabbing. Just to make sure he wouldn't use the right. Just jab. Right before he fought Hopkins the second time in 2005. It was a good strategy. I think Malik Scott, because I think the problem with Wilder is he depends on the right hand so much that he knows when Wilder's in doubt, I got the right hand. I'm going to knock his ass out. That's what I'm going to do. Taradek Tall coming in with that 5-pound love. He says, I feel AJ is obsessed with boxing, but the fight is not in him anymore. That's the confusion for him, maybe. That's interesting. But I don't see anybody obsessed with something that they don't have. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that. I don't see that. I just don't understand that. Because it would be different if he was older and he's taken a lot of punishment and that's all he knows. Okay? Now, someone like Joshua, this is what I see. I see someone like Joshua at age 60 still in the gym. I see him being a gym rat. I don't see him just being obsessed with fighting at age 33 and can't do it no more. I just don't see that. I just don't see that at all. AJ versus Wilder is only 6 months away in theory. Yeah, in theory. Joshua just doesn't want to gamble. There you go. Now, St. Don, you might have a point. I think AJ, I've seen him execute a perfect pull counter on a guy that's a very good jabber. One thing you can say about Pulev, his jab was probably one of the sneakiest jabs in the heavyweight division at some point. And he was able to time that jab perfectly. Come over it, pull counter, come over it with a right hand. And I'm like, okay, I know you got the ability. It's something else. It's almost like, you know what let me give you guys a great analogy. It's like me. I can swim. I can't float, but I can swim. And maybe because I can't float is because I'm afraid of dark water. You wouldn't catch me dead unless I'm in a plane and that fucker crashed into the lake. That would be the only way that you see Kurt DeVille swimming in dark water or in a lake that I can't see the bottom because my mind will be thinking all types of shit. What's in this water? Snakes, water moccasins, alligators, freshwater crocodiles, you know what I mean? Lesions, like currents. I'm thinking all types of shit when I'm swimming. And that causes me to freak out. So that either going to cause you to do what? You're going to either overreact, hyperventilate, or something like that. Because I use myself as an example. That's something personal about me. I do not like dark water. Ocean, that's different. Because ocean, you can see shit around you. You can see shadows and you know what I mean? That's different. And it's like, okay, but dark water I have a problem with. Okay, well, let's revert that to AJ. If he is afraid and he doesn't want to commit, maybe he's afraid of just getting hit again. That left hook from Ruiz, that right hand from Vladimir, those might have just ruined Joshua. What do you guys think about that? The fight or flight theory, yeah. Kurt, you ain't going to look for that missing sub then. No leg swimming for Kurt. No, I don't see in it because, and here's the thing. Another thing about me too, something personal. In 2018, after I finished, what was I doing? I just finished Squatter, and I agreed to go out of town with this chick that I was dating. Okay, and she had 3 badass kids. And it was in Hot Springs, Arkansas. If anybody knows anything about Hot Springs, it's a fun, jazzy town. About 100,000 people. You have cabins. It snows in the wintertime. You can rent cabins. And it's surrounded by a huge lake. They have natural springs that come out. You can buy the water because the water's supposed to be like high alkaline, and you drink it. It's supposed to kill cancer cells and shit like that. You can wash your face in this naturally hot springs because it's actually hot springs in this city. Awesome place. I love it. I used to go there as a kid because, man, that used to be like the home of a lot of family vacations with me and my family, my mom, my dad, and my brother, right? So, yeah, I agreed to go to this place based on that. Well, I got in this accident where I was on a party barge and I had a life jacket on, and the fucking, the party barge was pulling the tube where I was on the back of the tube, me and this dude that was dating the chick that I was dating's daughter. So we're sitting back there jumping, and he's from Louisiana too. So we're sitting there. Well, all of us are from Louisiana, to be fair. But we're sitting there, and he's bouncing off. And then, they're making the thing move and stuff like that. I wasn't worried about falling off, okay? Big Boss, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Daryl Alexander, sounds like the spot. It is. Nice spot. Hot Springs, Arkansas. And it flipped over. But what happened, the tube took a dive in the water and it flipped over, and then shit flipped over. It threw the other guy over this way. He's the lucky bastard because all he had to do was swim back to the party barge. Then he has the life preserve in case he couldn't swim, but if he couldn't swim, he shouldn't have been on the fucking tube. But anyway, it flipped over. So as it flipped over, I had the life preserver on. So I'm under this thing. So the life preserver is to keep you afloat. So I'm afloat under this, trapped under this fucking maybe 40, 50 pound, maybe 60 pound tube. So I had to, Scance ran to the building, counterpunch to you. I had to end up like moving that shit over because I was trapped for maybe 5 seconds. And I'm like, shit, because I was floating, but the water was all submerged. And I'm like, dude, I'm stuck under this damn tube. So I had to push it, and I tore a rotator cuff doing this shit. But, I'm like, I'm not drowning in this fucking, I'm not doing that. But I lost a, what was I wearing? I was wearing some water socks. So I lost a water sock swimming, but I had tore that. And it was another thing that went down. I was feeding the tube because I wasn't getting back on the tube. And then one of the badass kids accelerated the party barge, and I had the rope around my leg, and it fucking ripped, and it snatched my ass off in the fucking lake. I hit my head on the motor of the fuck. It was jacked up. So I got this badass scar forever under my leg. I don't know, maybe you can see it right there. There it is. Boom, right there. All right? It's never going to go anywhere. So, and so I learned my lesson about dark water. But the whole idea of being in dark water, that kind of intensified that. So I can understand if AJ gets hit with something like that, and it's like, Scance is the Wilder Liberation Front. Yeah, he's like, that reminds me of, what's that, The Last of Us. Beats Hellenius a bum, and he's one of the best. When AJ beats Franklin, he's a good fighter. Heavyweight division is a joke. Sick of them not fighting each other. AJ only won the Klitschko fight because Vitaly advised Vladimir to stand back and not go for the kill. Rosie Mason, that might be true, but then Vladimir didn't have to do that. He didn't have to listen to Vitaly. And then see, Vitaly, that's odd coming from Vitaly because Vitaly is a killer and a search, seek, and destroy type fighter. If that would have been Vitaly, AJ would have been knocked out in the 7th round or the 6th. Vitaly would have destroyed AJ because he knew how to. He's not going to play with you. When the minute he dropped him, oh shit, I'm going to use every bit of myself to take Joshua out. Joshua, you got to go. That's it. You got to go. That's a wrap. Vlad, he played with him and shit. You know what I mean? And let AJ, AJ looked like Michael Jai White in Undisputed 2. If you guys ever seen Undisputed 2, remember the first one with Ving Rhames, the original. Ving Rhames, Wesley Snipes. Ving Rhames goes to prison. He's Chambers, ice cold Chambers, and then he fights, Wesley Snipes, right? Well, the second one is when Michael Jai White revives that role. He ends up going to jail in Russia, and he fights Boyka. Well, remember when he gets drugged by Boyka, and he's all, ugh. You know what I mean? That's how Joshua reminded me of. This big buff-ass dude that's like all fucking drunken and jacked up. Vitalik could clean out the entire division with the exception of Usyk possibly. Yeah, because Usyk would know how to maneuver around big shots, and then he would have to tire Vitalik out. But see, other than that though, if Vitalik if he hurts him, he's going to go in for the kill though. So it's still a dangerous fight between Vitalik Klitschko and Alexander Usyk. Undisputed, one of the best movie franchises. Yeah, I love that. Skrilla 50, I'm trying to figure out why does Heyman have 3 undisputed fights and Hearn has none. Seems like Hearn is the real cancer to the sport. What undisputed fights are left? Because to be fair, Scance Rants, you wasn't saying that shit a couple years ago. For one, Canelo is undisputed. And I think if Canelo wouldn't have lost, let's look at it like this. If Canelo would have beat Bivol, he would have been in the WBA. Then he would have fought Beterbiev on the ESPN side. Then him, Hearn, and Bob Arum would have came together for a super fight for another undisputed at light heavy. The only problem was, Scance Rants, Canelo fucking lost. And Devin Haney had the opportunity to fight Kambosos, but he couldn't do it because Kambosos was Ludabella / Bob Arum fighter. So he let him go to do that. So you can't call him a cancer. He would be a cancer if Eddie wouldn't even allowed Devin Haney to do so. You know what I mean? So no, you can't say he's a cancer. Is he doing better based on the fighters that he has? No, he's not doing better because he's not in position anymore because he lost AJ with the 3 strap. So that was another guy that he wanted to be held undisputed, and Canelo lost. And Devin Haney, he had to go to do what he needed to do. See, Devin Haney's the undisputed lightweight champion now. Heyman made Canelo plant, Charlo, and now Spence. But yeah, but he had those fighters. Okay? He made the Canelo fight because they promised Canelo a shitload of money. Charlo's always been a Hal Heyman fighter, and so has Spence. Bud was the guy that was the outsider, and that took years to make. You can't say now, since that fight has been made, oh, see, they're doing more this year. They're doing more this year now based on what we had to wait for to get. But no. Just things don't work out the way they're supposed to. The heavyweight undisputed journey, you got to ask yourself this question. That has nothing to do with Eddie Hearn. It's Tyson and it's Usyk. So Tyson and Usyk still haven't fought. So we don't have it that way. But that has nothing to do with Eddie Hearn. It's just, it looks very good for Al Heyman because all of those guys were Al Heyman fighters. Heyman Bob trying to figure out how to keep all the money. Well, I'm making all the money. Bongo, I read that wrong. Sorry. That's Eddie's cash out fight. What have I missed? Double D. I've been on 54 minutes. Wilder said he lost his pen. So what? That's not Eddie's fault. Skrilla 50. That's true. You remember that? That shit should have happened a long time ago. Even looking in that situation and looking at that for what it is. Looking at that for what it is, shows that it's you can't look at promoters And, because Wilder was the WBC champ, Joshua was the unified champ. Now, if White was the WBC heavyweight champion of the world and Joshua had the rest of the belts, we would have saw Undisputed Fighter years ago. It just don't work that way. All the puzzles are just not with everyone or with just one person. That's all that is. We got over 120 some odd people in here. Let's get 100 likes. We got 66. So we need 44 more. And then keep on going. Let's go. I think Fury will be properly retired from boxing this year. I hope so, if he doesn't fight anybody. And really all I need Tyson to really do is fight Usyk. I want to see how good he really is. I want him challenged. But back to Joshua, though. Does he still have the heart? Okay, let's do this. Let's say this. Let's talk about what he does have. What can we agree that AJ has? Wilder was on a video saying he lost his pen. Yeah, he was. I lost my pen, shit. My pen missing. He did say that. I remember that. I did a video on it years ago. And it's so crazy how long ago that really was. I was like almost 5 years ago. Because it was like late in 18. Spence is a unified champ. Dud is one belt. And Heyman made it happen. Same situation with AJ and Wilder. Well, no, it's not. Because obviously AJ and Wilder weren't with the same promotional companies, or one wasn't a promotional or a free agent. Wilder was a free agent at once upon a time. He went right back to Al Heyman, talking about loyalty, and then turned out all that fucking money. And you call him Dud. Bud's a dud. Why you don't like Bud Crawford? You have to realize, fighting is not about promotional companies. And that's what people kill me about. I remember Al Heyman put on fights that we've never saw before. Showed us something that we've never seen before or seen in a long time, especially if you're 40 or younger. Okay? So if you're 33, 34, 35, up to 40 years old, okay, you don't know what it's like to have free TV unless you watch ESPN2, Friday Night Fights, and they don't have those no more. And I think you still had to have a cable box to have ESPN. You had to pay for some type of cable for ESPN, right? ESPN is a pay station. It's not a premium pay station, but it's still a pay station. Al Heyman brought that shit to Fox. That's a major accomplishment. Free TV. He signed up the current top trainer to try to improve. He obviously still has the heart. Saint, we've already discussed the Saudi deal on the message board. Nikki Blue Eyes Austin, Kurt, why don't you do a poll to see who thinks AJ still has heart? It's a very good question. I was thinking of that earlier, but I already started the live stream. I may try it afterwards. You know what? I did a video on it, so I'll attach a video to it. Yeah. What does AJ have? Annual MyFitnessPal subscription. Let's get AJ fit. Some like it rough. Some like it tough. Pulverized. Today, Amir Abdallah sounded really promising about the possible December and January fight. He said he didn't have the feeling Fury would refuse, but that might be bullshit. We don't know what Fury's going to do. I don't know what Fury's going to do, man. And see, Fury, it's always a sure thing when Fury fights a bullshit fight. Like when you see Derek Chisora and him, that shit's going to happen. When you hear him talk about somebody that you ain't seen him fight that might whoop his ass, that ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, don't hold your breath. Shannon the Cannon. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Yeah. Rosie Mason, I know you. Lot are still running with the narrative, even though the Saudis didn't want April. Um, you know, I don't know what they wanted or what they didn't want at this point. I don't care, man. I really don't care. Um, Saying even Warren admitted that Usyk has signed the Saudi deal. Usyk changed his mind. Now he's focused on skills too much. You know, Kurt, if Canelo beat Bivol, do you think he would have fought Benavidez already? No, he wouldn't have. Rene Padilla Jr., this would have happened. If Canelo would have beat Bivol, he wouldn't have worried himself with Benavidez. What would he now? This is what he probably could have done. He would have. This is what he would have done to me. This is what I think he would have done. Canelo would have then, in turn, fought Beterbiev, Beterbiev. Beterbiev is the unified light heavyweight champion. He would have fought him, and then if he would have happened to fucking beat him, he would have ended up being the undisputed. At that point, he probably would have relinquished all those 168-pound belts because then he's a undisputed in light heavy. He no longer needs super middle. He no longer needs super middleweight at that point because now he's done exactly what he's done at super middle and light heavy. Okay, then he would probably say, you know what? Fuck David Benavidez. Let me go to cruiserweight. And that's where I think he would have probably spent the last remaining fights at cruiserweight, fighting bigger guys. You know, being faster, being a little smaller, hitting a little lighter, but, able to do more because he's more skilled, he feels. That's what would have happened, Renee. AJ wants to continue to learn and adapt. Nothing wrong with that. Head and heart. Well, nothing wrong with learning, So I equate that with the whole idea of, still having the passion or interest in the fight. I just don't understand how this motherfucker can just, maybe he needs to worry about more skill because it seems like he's like an angry person that doesn't know how to do shit. What I mean by that is like you get that mad after a fight, but you're not showing us in the fight that same passion or that same energy. That's what I don't understand. And a lot of people said, like, okay, in both fights, when he got his ass whooped to Usyk, it was like he kind of threw one shot at a time. No, throw 4 or 5. Show us urgency. That's the word I'm looking for. Urgency to win or to get a knockout or to show that you are the dominant force in the ring at that time. Not someone that's just trying to throw one shot at a time because you're not going to hit Usyk with those type of shots. You hit him with multiple shots. That's why I give Tyson Fury way more chance than I gave AJ against Usyk. You should, Kurt. It will be interesting to see, and you could do a part 2 this live and subject. Well, okay. Yeah, I'll do a recap. Definitely do a recap. If Jake Paul didn't get involved, Taylor versus Serrano undisputed wouldn't have happened. Edward John sabotaged these fights. Edward John. Edward. I was like, Edward, who the hell is Edward? You mean Eddie? Well, I'm glad he did, though. AJ ducked Wilder and Wilder ducked AJ. It all depends on who you choose to believe. Well, the $50 million AJ claimed wasn't real. Now, was it real? I don't know. I don't know if it was real. But the question is, what's not debatable to me is, was the $100 million real from DAZN? Was there any debate that that wasn't real? Did you hear Wilder say that wasn't a real deal? Did you hear anybody over there say that wasn't a real deal? No. Now, to be fair, it could have been a narrative on the end of a Deontay. My question is, it's like, okay, they claim there wasn't a contract. Steven Espinosa says there was terms to an offer for the contract. I believe him saying it like that. Eddie said there wasn't. See, I think people got more involved in that because that we just wanted to find out who was lying. It got to the point is we didn't care if the fight was happening or not. We just wanted to see who was the liar or not. Who is really telling you a lie? Because if we can pinpoint who the liar is, we can pinpoint who doesn't want the fight. And then therefore we can blast whoever don't want it and just jump on the other guy's side. Jump on that bandwagon. Eddie Hearn just announced today that AJ isn't fighting White next. So what's stopping him from fighting Fury next? Good question, Black Cloud. Hey, I can't. Hey, if it's not him, they claim they want the fight. No, Rosie Wilder is basically more duck than man. Looks like Jarrell Miller is getting offered the AJ fight next. I would love to see that fight. I would love for AJ to fight Jarrell Miller. Do you understand what that will mean? If AJ fights Jarrell Miller, that would sell out quick because Jarrell Miller, he won't be on drugs this time. Hopefully. He's going to talk just as much shit. He's going to... Dude, I would love to see that fight. AJ is not that killer he used to be, but you're going to see near riot situations if AJ fights Jarrell Miller. I would love to see that fight. Jarrell makes some money. AJ gets to actually fight him. Then I think we could see that Beyond the Gloves that was never released. You guys do know it was a Beyond the Gloves that were never released where Jarrell Miller was rapping and AJ was rapping and Jarrell Miller beat AJ at rapping. Yeah, that happened. They talked about it, but we never saw it. So, dude, yeah, it was a lot of shit. It was a lot of it's deleted footage I think they should throw out there. And I don't think they did because the fight never happened. Because they got Andy's ass in there. This guy Juice literally ducked $50 million he asked for, but Wilder definitely ducked AJ. I mean, if you believe that both sides had the money, that means they both ducked each other. AJ ducked that for that $50 million, and Wilder ducked that $100 million. You couldn't say he was with anyone because he wasn't. But I think Deontay Wilder was persuaded not to take the money from Al Heyman because Al Heyman told him that was Mayweather training camp money. And he knows Wilder doesn't like Mayweather. He knows that. He knows everything about them fucking fighters. It's his business to know. So when he said, that's Floyd's training money they offered you, Wilder leaned over, told Shelly Finkel. Shelly Finkel then in return told Lou DiBella. Then Lou DiBella was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? And then they all kind of got up and started asking questions that John Skipper was sure, like, hey, we got this. Here's the money. Here's more money than you ever saw. Let's just make these fights. Let's have a 2-fight deal. Let him fight for $20 million to get his head right over on the zone. Yeah. At this point, I could care less. To be honest with you, I don't care. I really don't give a shit. Because it's an exhausting thing to keep talking about. No, Kalnaki's actually fighting somebody. Kurt, the problem with the DAZN deal was the DAZN didn't have AJ signed to the deal, and they couldn't give him information on the splits. Fuck the splits, Black Cloud. That's the problem. It was no fucking split. Just like Saudi Arabia's not a split. Nobody's talking about that shit. Nobody's talking about what's the split between the fighters. Nobody gives a shit. You know why? Because there are offers for each individual fighter. When you start to split shit, you're trying to compare what people make. It's just be comfortable with what is offered, and if it's cool with you, take the fucking fight and make the fucking fight happen. That's the problem. They started talking about stupid shit about, oh, well, no. Here, look, there you go. Skipper apologized to Wilder, but it's Wilder's fault. Now, you better be Pacific, Scance Rants. What was he apologizing about? Because he was apologizing that, hey, you should have took that fucking money. And he said he apologized for not being as patient. Not that the deal stunk, not that the shit wasn't real. No, he apologized because he said, well, maybe we were too forceful to make it happen. Okay? Not the fact that Wilder was out of line. He was out of line. That motherfucker should have took that money. He still ain't made that money. And now that's why he wants that Joshua fight, because he knows Joshua got his ass whooped a few times. You better make something of this shit quick, or you're going to be the one that's out. Usyk got paid. Joshua's been paid. Fury's got paid by ESPN. He didn't mess up the meeting. Hold on. Let me show you exactly what he said. Let me read it to you. Okay, there you go. Here you go. Now, it says, come on, go. He said the mega $100 million deal ultimately failed and disappeared, with some calling the champion Deontay Wilder a fool for declining such a deal. In an interview with Lance Pugmire of The Athletic, remember Lance Pugmire? You guys have got to remember Lance Pugmire of The Athletic. Skipper was quoting and saying, in retrospect, I was too brash going in there without creating the relationships I needed to create with the people who advised Deontay Wilder. I have now worked to do that. It has to do with going back to the education I needed before getting into boxing. When we left the Wilder meeting, I knew we messed up and that we weren't going to be successful with Wilder. John Skipper went on saying, quote, we were impatient, and after having some early success, we wanted to move quickly. Now I understand that I've got to work relationships, work within a framework, and understand other people's self-interest and needs as well. If I had to do it again, I'd gone in and said, I'm playing the long game. I'm playing the long game with Canelo and Triple G too. Now, based on what he's saying, yeah, says we messed up. Okay, we messed up, meaning that we were impatient. That's exactly what I just said. That didn't have anything with him to do. Maybe they were brash. Maybe they were just some assholes. But then again, what did that have to do with the split? Like Black Cloud mentioned. You know, what did that have to do with a split? They were worried more about a split because they were on some split shit. And Skipper didn't want to hear that. They were like, we wanted to form relationships. And, that's a fucked up way of saying, you know what, we were assholes. That's what that was. We were impatient. We wanted to get the deal done. They were forceful because they didn't want to hear fucking splits. They didn't want to hear, well, how much is Anthony Joshua making? Who gives two fucks what AJ's making? That's the problem. Wilder was trying to be AJ without fighting Vladimir, without unifying any belts, without bringing any real money to the table. That's what was happening. Okay? So AJ, he deserved more than Wilder anyway. And he got more than Wilder, and he gets more than Wilder. To this day, he gets more than Wilder. So there you go. That's why. Now, did John Skipper know all this? I don't know if he knew all this. but I know what they told him or what they asked him. I know what Al Heyman said. That's why I knew Lou DiBella scants rants. Get this. Lou DiBella said, fuck all y'all. I'll do it again if I wanted to, because y'all fucked the deal up. Ask John. Look, why don't you ask Lou DiBella about John Skipper? He didn't have a problem with John Skipper. The only people that had a problem with John Skipper are the people that was asking stupid questions about a deal that was offered to him. He knew he fucked up. They know they fucked up. You know why I know they fucked up? Is because now Wilder is so eager to go to Saudi Arabia and get the same fucking kind of deal. That's what's happening. That same deal is going to be handed. Like now he's, oh yeah, I take 30, 40 million. Where he could have took 105 years ago. See what I mean? He could have took, see, if Wilder gets $50 million to fight Joshua, which will be good money. Don't kid me. I'm not shitting on the money that he's getting, but how could you compare $50 million to $100 million 5 fucking years ago? 5 years ago, he was offered $100 million or 120. I'm sorry, it might have been 120 million. I know it was 100 million, and I know 100 million is more than a 50 million or whatever they're going to offer him. They're going to offer Deontay Wilder $100 million. See, Al Heyman is a Anansi. He's an Anansi character. If you know what that is, that's an African god. Okay, he's a trickster. He said that shit to piss Wilder off so Wilder wouldn't take that money. And he didn't take that money. At least, dude, you're going to offer me $20 million to fight a guy that I knocked out in 1 round. Make that make sense. He knocked out Dominic Breazeale in less than 1 round. Muscle relaxer. They gave him 10, and you know what Showtime did to him? Showtime dropped him. They gave him the 10 million. But then they dropped him right after that. Think I'm lying? They're going to offer Jews 50 million. Therefore, it's 50-50 split from the Saudis. I don't know, and I don't give a shit. The only thing is, they're not going to give you or tell you any split shit from anything. It's just they're going to offer, which they should do, because everybody should mind their own fucking business. If this is enough for you to fight this guy, this is what we're offering you. Do you like it? Do you like, this is a premium package. How they say it? Premium package. That's what they're going to offer him. Not act like a little bitch. What is he getting? Who gives a fuck? That's their business. Your business with them is what they offer you. And that's the problem. That's Shelly Finkel's bullshit. Well, what is AJ getting? You know, because again, Wilder wanted to be more like AJ than Wilder himself. Wilder should have just been himself. Took the money, knocked AJ the fuck out, yeah, and then became whoever. See, he was banking off AJ's success because he heard about the rest. He heard about the money that AJ was getting, and I knew it made him sick. That shit made him sick to his stomach. Hey, look, Wilder was ate up in 2018. 19, he cooled down, but he showed his true colors in 19. But at 18, he showed you how worse envy can get. An envious person, he showed the worst out of envy. That's what happened. And when Joshua got his ass whooped by Andy Ruiz, Wilder was so happy to see that happen. It showed you it wasn't about him beating Joshua. It was about Joshua losing in some shape, form, or fashion, or looking bad in some shape, form, or fashion. It wasn't the fact that he won it. 4 fights for 120 or 3 fights for 100 million. Okay? All those are different than whatever it has. But you know the first fight, right? Scance Rants. What was the first fight on the roster? Wilder was commentating AJ's fight against Klitschko. AJ has never been to a Wilder fight ever. So, exactly, he hasn't. But they brought Wilder over there to get paid. And nobody mentioned Wilder at all. Why is that? What was Wilder doing? Wilder was calling out Tommy Bellew. Exactly. Scant Trance. Exactly. So Brazil, 100 million. Brazil, he got 20 million. Where Showtime gave him half that. Wilder is dangerous. He is in good spirits and his mind is right. Well, his mind is well enough for him to do what he needs to do. I'll say that. I ain't gonna say his mind is right, but it's right enough. And he is very, very dangerous. Good afternoon, Kurt from Lagos, Nigeria. AJ reminds me of AB. He will never let his hands go. I blame Andy Ruiz. AJ is scared to be hit. That may be the case. Yeah, no warm-up fights for either one. Announce the fight, please. 2003, year of the GOAT. Shine one more time, please. But yeah, AJ, and then still, nobody still knows what AJ would have received fighting Wilder. But that's the whole point. Nobody gave a shit either. Nobody cared what AJ got, except for Wilder. Like, dude, you're making career high paying money. You know what I mean? So, again, Al Heyman, at that time, became a cancer in boxing. See, that don't like all this shit we're arguing about Usyk and Tyson. There shouldn't be no Usyk. There shouldn't be no Tyson. Period. There shouldn't be any of these motherfuckers. There shouldn't have been, like, Tyson Fury should have never been allowed to fight Deontay Wilder in 2018. What the fuck warned him being anyone? That just shows you Wilder should have never fucked with him in the first place. Wilder should have handled his business fighting the unified champion. Wilder didn't want to do that. Wilder thought, hey, let's knock out Tyson Fury, then we can ask for more money. I know what it was about. But that was based on the notoriety, the marquee value of Wilder at the time, and it wouldn't shit. It wouldn't shit in 2018, and everybody knows that. He was just a shit-talking guy from Alabama. That's what he was. Had a lot of bullshit fights that nobody heard of. He probably possibly, like a lot of people say, he lost one because he was with Golden Boy before that. Okay? A lot of people say he got knocked out by Sconyers. I don't know how true that is, but we can't find any footage of it. Because if you're going to lie, I wasn't knocked down. Well, I mean, whatever. Right? But nobody knew Wilder at this time. However, for defense of Wilder, though, people know that Wilder is a lot different now, notoriety. But he just pissed over a opportunity years ago, which he should have got. And I think he's struggling to get the accolades or get what he could have got back then. He may not ever get that again. Sconyers is a UK rumor. They wouldn't give Wilder any of the gate now pay-per-view 100% for 3 fights. BS. Well, that's what the site fees are for. The site fees is a guarantee. Give me the guarantee, man. But then again, if 50, you think if 100, if you're bitching about $100 million or no pay-per-view revenue, what do you think the $50 million with no pay-per-view revenue was? Lou DiBella told us that. Well, we were going to buy out Anthony Joshua, buy his rights, fuck Sky Sports. We were going to get him to come over to Showtime, give him $50 million with no upside or anything like that. It kind of sounds like the Manny Pacquiao deal that Mayweather offered Pacquiao back in the day. Remember in 2000, I think 12 or 11, Mayweather offered him $40 million flat, $20 million now, and then $20 million right after the fight. No pay-per-view, no upside, none of that stuff. Take it or leave it. And Manny said he wanted 50-50. But what ultimately happened? He ended up making like 150 million or something like that for that fight. Floyd made 300 million plus, right? Yes, sir. He wanted to KO Fury so bad. Yeah, he wanted to knock out Fury, but he never. That's that. Look, that's on Wilder. Nobody told Wilder to take that fight just because Tyson Fury was running his mouth. Tyson knew what he was doing because Tyson knew. I know this guy can't box for shit. He can just punch. And I know with what I have left, because I'm a fat ex-coke head, ex-drunk bastard, I could still beat Wilder. And that's exactly what happened. And he did it better and better as he started to get or lose weight and get more fit. Juice asked for 50 million flat. He did say 50 million. I'll fight him tomorrow. He did say that. But it's so funny y'all guys say the same shit over and over and over again without any other, y'all just make comments. Yeah, he did say he wanted $50 million though. He asked for it. He asked for the shit. He asked for it. The Arc Ash. What's up, fight fans? Oi, Kurt. Very good to see you all. Much love. The Arc Ash. Counterpunch to you. Kirk is ducking my question. What did you ask, Black Cloud? Kurt, say Wilder did sign the deal. 1 fight versus Brazil and 2 fights versus AJ in the fall and winter. AJ wasn't signed to the zone deal either. And AJ lost to Ruiz that summer. How was that deal going to work? That's a very good question. If AJ would have fought, because what he was supposed to fought, Wilder fought Brazil first, right? Then AJ was supposed to fight Jarrell Miller. It would have been a shit show. Okay, now all of this is theoretical because nobody did anything anyway. But since Wilder turned down the deal, he turned down the deal way before Joshua got beat. But who's to say Joshua wouldn't have fought anybody different? And who's to say Joshua wouldn't have supposedly, we don't know how true that is, got a concussion? Who's to say that's the case? Who's to say any of that would have happened? See, to answer your question, Black Cloud, we don't fucking know. We don't know what would have happened because we don't know, because Wilder never agreed to it. Maybe they would have just skipped that fight knowing, but I don't know either. I'm just speculating because I don't know, because Wilder said no. Wilder's team said no, we're not doing that. Okay. We're not, hold on, let me plug this in. We're not going to take that deal. So we don't know what he would have done. AJ was just responding to what AJ would have done in his career after Wilder declined the offer. Since he declined the offer, we don't really know we don't know what actions would have been taken if Wilder would have accepted the offer. Does that make sense? So I don't know what AJ would have done. Now, that could have happened, though. I'm not saying that he wouldn't have fought Andy Ruiz. He could have fought him. But then again, he might not have fought him. He might have fought somebody else. Lareco Perez, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. What's up, fight fans? I got you. I hope that answered your question. Because I mean, like that's the most. I'm not gonna bullshit you. That's the honest way I could explain it. Because I heard that shit too. Like, well, he got beat anyway, but that was before. Wilder made that announcement that he was staying with Showtime because he accused people, just like Joshua and other people, that they're always leaving and they're showing no loyalty. So I'm doing something unlike most of these other motherfuckers because, Joshua did fight over here in the States, Vladimir Klitschko. It was on Showtime because if you guys don't know, Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman were business partners. Eddie, it was kind of like this. Kind of like Bob Arum and Frank Warren. Al Heyman was over here, just like Bob Arum is. Okay. Eddie Hearn was over there, just like Frank Warren is. So, just like we'll get a Joe Joyce fight, they'll watch it at BT over there where you guys are in the UK. Well, over here, it's on ESPN. Okay. Where Eddie had a deal with Al Heyman. Al Heyman aired it from Showtime over here. That's why we seen Joshua versus Klitschko in the States. And then over there, it was on Sky. Okay, so yeah, they were working together at one point. That's why you had, same with Shelly Finkel. Shelly Finkel has done deals with Eddie Hearn before. You guys do know that, right? Shelly Finkel is the manager of Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko fought Joshua. Joshua's promoter is Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn and Finkel had to work together. Kevin Lopez, counterpunch to you, brother. The J. Roos theory in the building. Scantz Rant says $50 million was for Juice to fight on Sky and Showtime, according to released bullets of the offer released by Espinosa and on Twitter. And see, the problem with that Scantz Rant, Espinosa and what's the fucking guy's name? Was it Frank Warren? Because I mean, this is like it's looking through a keyhole. Because this was a while ago. Frank Warren, or was it Ludabella? It was some contradicting shit with the 50 million. Um, UK brings you Yanks boxing. You give us Joe Biden. Adi Alias. I'm out, peeps, now 23:30 in the UK. 5K run in the morning, first thing. Damn, you go ahead, bro. Good luck. Heavyweight, the only division I watch. Big Pharmacy got the nerve so much for Hart where he had to juice up to the grills to get Hart to fight AJ. Well, I mean, if he's still calling out AJ, you can't say it's the juice. There was some contradiction with the $50 million. For example, Eddie Hearn saying that he needed to see some proof of funds, and then a week later saying he never asked to see proof of funds. I never seen where he said he didn't need to see proof. I heard that he needed to see proof. I never seen, and then here's another thing to talk about that to rehash this shit. When did Eddie Hearn or Anthony Joshua, when did they ever deny the fight? They said they doubted the money was there or not. But then Wilder emailed Eddie, and I'm like, okay, did Wilder email Eddie with Shelly's blessing or with Al Heyman's blessing? Did he get full of weed or drink or something and then send him that? You know, Eddie did say that they received a message or email from those guys, and he said, yeah, show us proof of funds or some shit. Show us proof of funds. But then again, here's another thing. I heard that who the hell asked for that? So it's a big shit show. He said both to Blue Blood a week apart. Any word on Jermaine Franklin? Man, I ain't heard from Jermaine Franklin. Joshua was very cautious, but I think the right opponent will bring out the aggression. Well, he has to now. Because you guys will find out tomorrow, because I've done about 9 videos today. So a couple tomorrow will show about AJ or whatnot. But I will be coming back on live at 4. That's going to be my slot. So at 4 o'clock, we're going to reconvene. I like the whole Black Cloud and everything. I like the Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua shit. Because I heard a lot, you know. Why is Wilder sending emails to Eddie Hearn? I thought Wilder hated Eddie Hearn. Why ain't Shelly doing that? That's what he pays him for. But then if Eddie Hearn says we need proof, who the fuck says they need proof? Who says they need proof of we need proof of funds? Show us the, you know. Now a contract is another thing, but then people, to be fair, send the offer first. But then another weird thing is Why did they say, no, you got to say yes first or whatever before we send you the contract instead of sending the contract for the terms? So, it's a lot of shit, man. Kirk, one question. Could you respond regarding your heavyweight division there compared to your old days? My old days of on the show or the old days of fighters in boxing? AJ will take his crown back, but enjoying his cash. Shit, he better be enjoying his cash now because he's made a lot of it. I know I would. Shit, I'll be in Abu Dhabi somewhere, chilling, eating shrimp and steak. Kurt, a legend in the UK. Absolutely. Okay, let's give the AJ Wilder event a name. Um, the AJ and Wilder contracts, or should I say, the primary contracts of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. How about that? Fury asked for proof of funds. Yeah, you know what he did? He did. He asked for proof of funds from the Saudis. Ooh, great counterpunch. Stay blessed and be real. That's some real shit for you right there. Kalnaki is fighting on the zone, by the way. Yep. Black Cloud. Who do you think AJ is going to fight next if it isn't White? Some bum. Somebody safe. Somebody that's you know, I hope it's someone that we know. Fuck. You know? But yeah, guys, this was a great live stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. my time. So what is that? 10 p.m. in the UK, right? So see you guys then, prime time. You guys be good. God bless. Probably Kabayel or McKean. More than likely Black Cloud. And everyone has been counterpunched. Peace.